All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today, I am at the Financial Prepper's homestead. We're in his secret layer shop where he fabricates really awesome things. And I wanted to get a chance and an opportunity to just talk to him about the trades. You know, we talk about on our channel developing trades that you can use and that you can monetize. And Chris has developed a skill that's in very high demand and has his own company. And Chris is a welder fabricator.
Yeah, okay, so yes, I'm a welder, but if you really want to try to make the big money, it's in the pipe welding.
Okay.
And if you want to go further than that, it's in the pipe fabrication. You know, 100% X-ray, high pressure stuff that's got to be right.
Okay.
And it's got to be built fast and efficient. But you got to start as just a welder first, and more than likely just a helper.
Yep.
And you kind of move up.
Apprentice. Yeah.
But if you're wanting to do welding trades, you should set your sights on what pays the most.
Right.
Right. And that's just what I did. And I was welding pipe in the natural gas industry for, I guess, the last 17 years or so. And it's a really good living. And the best part about being a pipe fabricator, welder, something of that nature, is it's, in my opinion, and why I did it, is it's in high demand, and it's a way to make some money without trying to make a career and climb the ladder. Because
Right.
if you can weld, it doesn't matter if you're 18, 19, 20,
Yeah.
you get paid just like the guys that
That's
have
right.
been doing it for 30 and 40 years or 20
Yep.
years. So in my mind, that was like, hey, I can skip all that climbing the ladder
Right.
thing and go straight to making money.
You know, that's my big thing on trades. And for one, like with a trade, whether it's welder, whether it's electrician, plumber, your house needs plumbing work. Your house needs electrical work. People need things fabbed. I'm looking at your super awesome rocket ship pellet stove there. You made that, man. That thing produces the heat for this building, and you thought of that idea, you fabricated it, and you brought it to life, and now it produces heat for you, and that's the value of a trade and a real world skill. One, you develop that, no one can ever take it from you. It's not a piece of paper, it's not a degree, or, oh, well, that's not in the right area, that's not the degree we're looking for, right? But that's a real world skill that you have forever, and you have learned and developed it to monetize it, and now you are creating a substantial living and a legacy for your family. And how much college debt did you have to go into to become a welder?
My college experiences was full. I had a full scholarship, actually. I've got a medal on the wall right there, a gold medal, and that was from a welding competition.
No way.
Yeah, they put me in VICA, which is Vocational Industry Clubs of America.
Okay.
I won the competition in Arkansas, and then they sent me to Kansas City, and I placed like 10th or 11th or something. I'm sure it was good, but what I ended up with was a scholarship.
Okay.
And I thought that was really odd, because I'm a welder. I'm not going to college. So no, my parents talked me into it. You need to go to college. It's free. You need to go. So I went for 3 days. 3 days. And I got up in the middle of class and gathered my books, and I was in English class. That's my worst subject. I'm dyslexic, and it's just bleh. And she says, everything okay, Mr. Taylor? I said, yep. I have just realized I do not belong here. Sorry to waste your time. And that was my college experience. Didn't cost me a dime. But with that being said, we've got a lot of this college debt forgiveness going on.
Yeah.
And all of that is actually taking away from trades. All
Right.
of this nonsense that you have to go to college or you're going to be a ditch digger. I was told that.
Yep.
I was told you're going to flip burgers if you don't do good on this test. You're going to be a ditch digger. Which a ditch digger is kind of cool now as you got equipment.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you don't have to listen to that. I'm
right.
telling you, the trades are wide open. There was a man that came to my school, and I don't remember his name. If I could see him again, I'd hug his neck. But he told me we're going to need 50,000 welders by such and such date, and we don't have them. The old guys are retiring, and we don't have them. And I thought, wow, maybe I'll do that. Welding seems pretty cool. And I enlisted enrolled in the welding program a year too early. They wouldn't even let me take it. So, and talking to people, yeah, welders make, you always heard that, welders make a lot of money. So that's what I wanted to do, and that's just what I pursued. But welding's not the only one. Like you said, plumber, electrician, anything like that. Just before you decide what you want to do, try to reverse engineer it. Like, where am I going to be in 10 years? What's possible for me in 10 years? And then work your way back and see what it's going to take to get there. Because a lot of people are signing up for these college courses and degrees that are going to be almost poverty level.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not thinking through the end goal, right?
Yeah, like school teacher. I mean, they start at like $30-some thousand. That's like, I mean, that's a really bad quarter for me. Like, if I make $30,000, we would be starving.
I hate to. Here's the thing with school teachers: God gives people gifts, and they want to teach. I mean, teachers just want to teach. That's what they want to do, and they take advantage of that.
Yeah, they do, 1,000,000%.
And same way with law officers, policemen. In my opinion, they don't make enough.
No, right.
If we paid them more, you'd have better cops.
Higher quality, yeah.
Same way with teachers.
Yeah, you're right.
But they take advantage of that, the gift they're given, and they pay them peanuts. And, I digress a little bit, but if I had to do it all over again, I would weld on pipe more faster. Wow. I wasted a lot of time doing structural welding. And I say, for you guys that are structural welding, there's nothing wrong with that, but the big money is in the pipe fabrication. And as you get into it, you're going to notice that's being able to read a tape measure and roll fittings and miter fittings and do all that fabricator type stuff is what's really desired, because the people that can just weld pipe are usually the first ones let go. If you can pull a tape measure and your measurements fit, you get to stay, and a lot of times they'll keep you on even if they don't have work. They'll just kind of keep you because they want you to be there, because they know if something happens, it's got to be done right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would really strive for that fabricator spot.
And the difference between me and Chris is I went to college for 7 years.
Wow.
And I hated most of it. But you know what? I mean, I went because I didn't want to be a ditch digger. But I mean, this was all part of the mantra. I quickly realized I still learn. I love to learn. I read books. My dad had severe dyslexia, and so I can relate to that. And my dad was a general contractor, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do that, And irony of ironies, that's what I'm doing now. But after 7 years of school and then 11 years as a desk jockey, as a financial planner and all that stuff, but these real world skills that you can retreat to. Okay,
so true.
I have welding. I'm a fabricator, but for right now, I want to flip rental property, so I'm going to fix it. But you know what? If I want to go back to my bread and butter, I can go back and fabricate. I can take side gigs and side jobs, or I can do boutique stuff, or like high-end stuff and do hot shot stuff. I mean, when you have that skill and then you've honed it and refined it, it really just opens the world as kind of your oyster, and you can pick and choose. Like right now, the project you're working on is like a grand slam project, and you can kind of pick your shots, and that's because of the time and energy you invested.
You nailed it, man. That is something you can retreat back to. That is having a skill that is needed. That means you can charge a good amount of money to do the skill, take this said money and invest it in any kind of business that you want. If that business doesn't work out, guess what? You can get back in your welding truck or your whatever it is you're doing, and go back to work. I've done it several times. I've retired once before.
Sure, yeah.
And it didn't quite work out. I was real close, but I went, came back out of retirement, made a little more money.
Yeah.
and tried something else.
Exactly.
It really gives you the freedom. You really said a lot when you said that, because it gives you so much freedom, because a lot of times there's some people that are more or less trapped in these jobs.
Sure, 1,000,000%.
And what I never really went after was these, I call them honeypot jobs, where they lay out these little honeypots for you. Oh, if you stay another year, we'll give you another week vacation. Oh, if you do this, we're gonna reward you. You know, that's just to keep you and keep you there, and they don't want you to go out on your own. And,
Right.
you know, and some people, that's fine if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to think about it and you just want to go to work and come back home and not worry about anything else, then do that. That's what those jobs are.
Yeah.
That's who they're for. So do it. I know a lot of people that do that. But it's a retreat that you can turn on and off. You can do it whenever you want. And well, I say that, I always had a job, but sometimes I had to travel a little bit further.
Yeah.
You know, there's some, but I never had to stay away.
Right.
But that's part of the fabricator thing that I'm telling you about. If you can be the bull at whatever trade you're in, you be the one. And I don't care if you're cleaning crappers on the job site, do it perfect.
Yep.
Nail it. Show value, and you won't be doing it very long.
Nope, you're right.
If you show up and half-ass it, you're stuck.
Yeah.
So try to, and I wish I'd have known that sooner. You know, all this stuff I'm telling, and I have a welding channel as well that I talk to you guys like this. If I'd have known this stuff sooner, I could have done so much more by just showing up early. You know, I was bad about not. I'd show up right on time.
Right.
Like right when I was supposed to be there, and sometimes I'd be 10 minutes late. I wish I'd have showed up early. I wish I'd have dressed sharper.
Yeah.
You know, as you get older, you start to realize these things. And be the bull at whatever trade you pick, and it will reward you greatly. And it's something you can pass on to your kids.
Exactly.
You can. Everybody needs to know how to weld.
Yeah.
You know, some stuff's going to break. Why not know how to fix it?
Yeah. Yeah. We have a little. We don't have anything cool like that right there, but we just got a little wire welder, and we all know how to wire weld. You know, my dad taught me how to stick weld when I was 12, and I haven't done it in a long time. But if I hone my skills and practice within a couple weeks, I could get back up to speed, and I'll always have that skill. I won't have that skill to do it at the level that Chris
done it for 25 years.
Right. But there's you know, when people talk about net worth, right? These skills are real value. Your skill, the amount of money that you can make in a year, right, times 10 years, 25 years, right? What's the value of that? What's the real current dollar value of that? I mean, talk about a net worth. And nobody, you know, everybody wants to talk about the stock market and stocks and bonds and all this stuff. What about the value of 25 years of fabrication and welding? What's that dollar value? That's an incredible net worth. And that's all part, you know, we talk about these real things, food 401k. Chris talks about tool 401k. And these are the real things. That's why we talk about trades, man. They're real. You learn it. It doesn't take that long to learn. It takes a long time to refine, right? And you improve and you hone your skills and you show up early and you improve and you improve and you improve. But, you know, this is all the kind of stuff we want to talk about on our channel. Bud's messing with us.
Nobody can take it away from you. You know,
Yeah.
you got it. And I know some people that went to prison and wound up at a better spot in prison because they were teaching other people how to weld.
Yeah. That's
you know,
cool.
they had a skill that they were able to offer even in prison.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And something else about welding, it was outside. I love being outside.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
Sometimes it's awful because it's hot. It gets so hot in North Louisiana, it feels like ants are biting you. And when it's cold, it's cold. But I never had to go sit behind a desk. That to me is just
Soul killing.
oh, it would be hard on somebody like me.
Yeah.
And I actually tried to come out of the field. It got slow, and I was offered a job at a paper mill, and it was making like $100,000 a year. I mean, it was a decent job. And I decided that, you know, I would give this a shot. And I was not a fit. It was not my having to be somewhere, you know, 12 hours a day in a kind of a dungeon area.
Yeah.
Where it's real dark and wet and rats running around. It just wasn't. We were in pastures welding on stuff and grilling on the back of the truck. I mean, it was the whole experience was looking back. You know, I'm not telling you all the bad stories.
Sure,
standing on the head in the mud. But yeah, it was very rewarding, and it really did what it was supposed to do. It was a vehicle for me to get. It was a money train. It was a financial instrument for me.
A capitalizer.
Yeah.
You know, it was that money machine, that capitalization, right? That helped you fill the bucket to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. We don't talk much, being in a quote unquote capitalist society, we don't talk about capitalization anymore and saving, right? We talk about debt and leverage. And these are all part of capitalization and real world skills, trades, right? These are what built America, right? And we want to encourage y'all to consider that. We have a course that's coming out. We have a parenting course and a young men's course coming out. And we were talking about these kind of things. This is what we encourage our children in the trades. And that doesn't mean that you won't go off to college and or take some type of technical nuance thing and need scholastic education. But there's so much value. I could imagine if I was operating and performing a trade for just the 7 years that I was in college. And if I just took those hours and those dollars and invested them in a trade, I mean, financially, how much further ahead I'd be than right now. And I'm not complaining. I'm blessed, and I wouldn't change anything in my life. I would do the same thing. You know, hopefully I wouldn't make all the same dumb mistakes that I made. But
well, there's a few things that I know we should probably wrap up. But if you're going to pursue this career or trade of any type, all right, if you're going to make the big money, you're going to have to take care of your business first. And when you get paid, you don't get to spend all your money. Okay. You get to save, hopefully 40%. My goal for everybody is to save 30 to 50% of your paycheck. And that blows people's minds.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
whoa, I
that's
could
great.
never do that. Well, then you need to find another occupation
Right.
or find a side hustle
Yeah.
because that's the money you can use to start a business, to invest, to buy rental properties, to do whatever. Because the reason I was able to invest this said money is because I did not ever have a new truck.
right.
I always drove the junkiest welding
Yeah.
truck because
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Right.
It was. I made just
care?
as much money as the other guys,
Yeah. Yeah.
if not more. And so, don't get hung up in this. I'm a welder and that's it.
Yeah.
You know that's. I see that mentality. How people let it define them. That's what I am, and that's it. That's all there is to it. I'm a welder now, and that's it. That's not it. You can be anything you want to be. You can own 100 rental properties. And guys, if you've ever experienced money just showing up in your mailbox, like bam, $1,500. Well, that's cool. $1,200, $850. You know, it's like, are you kidding me? It's like that.
Yeah.
And when you make these investments that pay you to own them, it's like, I don't need a new truck. I want another rental property.
It's the millionaire next door. You know, I don't know if you ever read Danko's book, The Millionaire Next Door, but I mean, that's what it's all about. And it's about these I mean, think about that, blue collar, white collar. I mean, that's these boxes that they've chopped us up with and this whole psychological experiment. But what we're seeing now is the end result of trades. I know guys like Chris, right? Financially solvent, successful, growing, expanding, right? And then I know plumbers doing the same thing. I know electricians doing the same thing. And these guys, dropouts, push-outs, I mean, when it comes to book education, but they have the skills to pay the bills and to capitalize, right? To capitalize, once you have that savings and that reserve, now the opportunities come to you. Oh, you got some money? Oh, well, look at this over here. Oh, well, I got some money. I can buy that rental property, or I can do this, or I can buy that other welding truck and maybe take on this apprentice, right? And I can show him, and then I line him out, while he's doing that, I can be over here or whatever. You know, you just take it to the next level.
Some acreage came up right next to me, right?
Okay.
3 acres. $50,000.
Wow.
It's like, man,
Holy
are
cow.
you kidding me?
Whoa.
But that's the difference between, that would put somebody living right there on me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if you have a little bit and you've been saving and you've got these assets, you have the cards are stacked in your favor. You can say, yeah, it's not really what I want to spend. I don't really want to do that.
Sure.
But it adds to the value to my property. I've never regretted buying land, and because there's not that many people that can do that.
Right.
There's not that many people, and I'm not bragging, guys. I swear that's not what I do. I'm just saying I was able to not have somebody live 70 feet off my property line.
Right, and here's another good point. How old are you, Chris?
I just turned 40 last week.
Chris, Chris looks very good
I know,
for 40.
I look old. I look like Father Time. Look at this. I don't know
Well, I'm
what welding
47,
rods,
so you
man.
make you. But that's the other thing. Like, Chris, could you have done that 20 years ago?
No, absolutely not.
Right. So everything takes time. That's the other thing. Is like you chart your trajectory, you aim your rocket, and then you grind it out, man. You know where you're going, and you grind it out. You set your savings, right? I want to save 50%. Oh, well, I'm not making enough money. Well, I need to either change what I'm doing, or I need to side hustle, I need to leverage or whatever, right? Or I need to go in a different direction, but that's where I'm going. And then when you turn 40 and you have that extra and the 3 acres come 50 grand, I don't really want to do that, but I don't want a neighbor. Plop. You know what I mean? And that gives you the opportunities to take advantage of even something that isn't necessarily a deal.
Right,
you know,
right,
that wasn't a deal. But what it was is that was a lifestyle decision. Yeah.
It's peace of mind, you know, and I've never regretted buying land. I'm so happy I was able to do that.
Yeah.
But you got to set yourself up early in life for
Exactly. Yeah.
And we're talking about saving 50%. If you've got credit card debt and this other debt stuff, that's the first thing that needs to go. I'm sorry, there's no excuses. Do that first. 100%, no way out of it. Get it gone now. It will immediately change everything. Once you do that, everything changes. So knock that out first. Don't put it off. I don't care if you do feel broke after you pay it off. Get out of debt first.
Yeah.
And then that's when you can start saving the massive.
That's great.
Massive money.
Well, man, this has been great, Chris. Any parting thoughts? We shared a lot of great tips and information. Any last words?
Okay, so welding school comes to mind.
Okay.
I would say yes. Anything to straighten the learning curve. You know, anything to cut, because that's time.
Right.
And that's our most valuable asset is time. So the less time you can spend learning from Bob down the street or helping and helper's a great place to learn. But I'm just saying, you might be doing helper work for a year or two and not ever get to touch a rod.
Sure, you're right.
So I would encourage people to go to school. I've got people going to school at 40 and 50 years old,
Yep.
you know, and you're going to learn so much. And it doesn't have to be the Texas Welding Academy or, you know, any of these. There's one in Oklahoma they're always touting. It doesn't have to be. It needs to be a place where you can go that has somebody to show you how to work the equipment, and you need to have plate that you can weld on. I mean, it's that simple. Just find somewhere to burn rods and try to cut as much of that time off as possible, and then go in the field. Yeah. Now, if you don't have time to do that and you got to go to work right now, I would recommend possibly a pipeline. You're going to learn a ton. You're going to learn so much. A shutdown, power plant shutdowns, turnarounds. I used to work over there where you're at.
Okay.
And I learned a ton in the power plants. You're going to learn a different, all different kinds of things like rigging and operated a crane.
Cool.
And you're going to learn all this stuff, and it's all part of it because you got to know all that stuff. And it's not just you do this one thing, shut up and weld pipe.
Right.
It's like you got to be able to do everything. So, and TIG welding and the different types of welding. There's so much to learn. Don't get overwhelmed, but just know going to school to learn the initial welding is going to get you in as a welder, and then you can try to learn. That's what I did. I was never a helper, and nobody's ever that I know has ever done that, but I contributed to being in school.
Cool. Wow, that's great. Great tip. How long is school? Is it 2 years or?
I went half a day at high school and half a day at welding school.
Oh,
so when I graduated high school back in 2001, I was I pretty much went straight to work as welding, and they were mad when I showed up to work. And I was the new guy making the same amount of money as everybody else. Right. I was 19 or 18.
Wow.
They were like, he can't do that. He said, well, he passed his welding test.
Wow. Yeah.
So, that's
awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
Hope great. You guys do it. Go to Taylor Welding. I'm not over there every day, but I try to answer the comments. Any questions, any kind of video you need to help you along, I'll make it.
Yep, and we'll link it down below, Taylor Welding, and we'll also link the Financial Prepper. But Chris, man, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you,
Love
buddy.
it. Thanks for having me over.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the delicious meal.
Absolutely, it was good.
It was very good. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Great, man. That was perfect.
That was cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
I try to encourage kids.
Yeah, we're launching this. They put a lot of time and effort into this parenting and young men's course, so I'm hoping that it should be profitable. This
If you need me to come speak to him about welding, I will, because I remember that guy. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I made the decision right there when I was 15, 14.
That's so cool,
like,
man.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would be good at. And then I just did it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I excelled at it. Dyslexic people have a uncanny ability to weld and fit and make measurements.
Yeah, my dad could barely read, and he still would write up his quotes, but my mom would have to proof it. But when it came to, my dad was a skilled electrician, skilled plumber. He was a good welder, and he worked at a cannery, and he started out in the salt hay meadows. They pushed him out of grade.
Let's turn this off before it runs out of battery.
They pushed him out of grade school